Oh, hi there. I'm just trying to write my mental health matters segment for this week. We're on the third of 5 crisis values. To recap, the first was relationships. And then last week we talked about keep it simple, Simon. But this week, it's just not coming to me. In fact, I was scheduled to record it yesterday, and then I had to call Jana and tell her that my creative juices hadn't kicked in yet, and I would need to push it to today. But as the hours ticked by to today's filming time, I realized that I still didn't have a story that I wanted to lead with, and I didn't even have a direction that I wanted to go. Lucky for me, though, today's crisis value is a shoo-in for not being in a place of knowing what I want to say. It's one that you may have heard us refer to before. Best, but not perfect. When we went to online worship, Reverend Eric would often remind us, especially when it came to technology, that things don't have to be perfect. We've done some pretty crazy things like film from the back of a moving truck, but we've always made sure that it was something that filled us with laughter and with joy by telling ourselves that we are doing our best, and then we move on. There have been a few times when I've wanted Eric to cut what he was doing and start over, but the look on Eric's face told me that best, not perfect, is the way to go. God doesn't ask for perfection. God asks us to offer ourselves, and whatever that looks like, that is our best self, wherever we are. Sometimes we hear that Jesus was the only perfect person, and maybe he was, but I'm guessing that there were times when even he felt like he wasn't perfect. I mean, for Pete's sake, with the number of times he had to tell the disciples that he was going to die, I'm sure that he doubted his communication abilities. You all have actually helped me to accept my best. You've expressed your appreciation. You've been graceful when I dropped a ball or let a spinning plate fall. You've acknowledged that this time is hard. And my prayer is that you have been giving yourself the same grace. Of course, we want to learn, improve, exercise more, cook better, make our homes lovelier, and use this time for something of worth. But at the end of the day, the world doesn't need you discouraged, stressed out, wishing that you were someone else. And so I wonder what knots God might be asking you to let go of. If your physical health is dependent upon things like what we eat and how much movement we get, then our mental health is dependent upon things like how well we can accept our best self. The crisis value best, not perfect asks us to take stock of our capacity, not our neighbor's abilities, and then strive to live into that. Our mental health is dependent upon accepting that our best looks different in times of stress than in times of normalcy. Our mental health is dependent upon accepting that sometimes our capacity is quite lower than we're used to, and as such, we have to lower our expectations. The church emergency number is 406-333-1856. Why? Because your mental health matters. Shh, come closer. I have a spoiler alert. The 5th crisis value that we'll talk about in a couple of weeks is Sabbath. And so I need your help. I need you to send us pictures of your Sabbath, whether it's reading a book, time in prayer, spending time floating the Madison, whatever it is that gives you renewal and strength, send us a picture. And hey, even if we don't learn anything new about Sabbath, at least we'll get to see some pictures of our church friends. Send those in to Jana Laver's email at jana@bozemanumc.org.